Have you ever felt like you're living in someone else's shadow? Maybe it's at work where no matter how hard you try, someone else always gets the promotion, the recognition, or the praise. Or maybe it's in your social life where others seem to naturally draw attention while you fade into the background. You know the feeling. The room is full of people, laughter, and conversation, but somehow you're not part of it. You're there, but you're not seen. You look at the men around you. Some of them don't seem particularly special. They're not smarter than you, they're not more attractive, and they don't have more money. And yet they walk into a room and it's like they control the energy. People gravitate toward them. Everyone wants to talk to them, to be near them. And you can't help but ask yourself, what do they have that I don't? If this resonates with you, you're not alone. I've been there. Most men have. The truth is, most guys are walking around feeling like they're on the outside looking in, and it's frustrating. You start to think, what am I doing wrong? You feel like you're constantly trying to fit in, trying to be noticed, trying to make things happen. But it's like no matter what you do, the world just doesn't respond. Here's the thing. It's not your fault. No one ever taught you this. No one ever sat you down and explained how life really works beneath the surface. We go through life being told that if we work hard, follow the rules, and be a good guy, everything will just fall into place. But that's not the whole picture, is it? Because if that were true, you wouldn't be here watching this video still feeling like something's missing. What I'm about to share with you is something only 2% of men will ever know. Something that, if you grasp it, will change the way you see the world, and more importantly, how the world sees you. This isn't just about looking better or saying the right things. It goes way deeper than that. This is about unlocking a rare kind of knowledge that allows you to naturally attract people, opportunities, and success into your life without even trying. And I promise you, once you get it, you'll wonder how you ever lived without it. But before we dive into that, let me ask you something. Imagine for a second that you did have that power. Imagine walking into any room, whether it's a party, a business meeting, or even a simple social gathering, and instantly becoming the person everyone is drawn to. You don't have to force it. You don't have to fake it. It just happens. You command respect. You attract admiration. People want to be around you, listen to you, and follow your lead. Imagine what your life would look like if that were your reality. Now, here's the truth. That reality isn't a fantasy. It's something only 2% of men know how to access. It's something that most guys will never even realize exists. But today, I'm going to pull back the curtain. I'm going to show you how those 2% operate, how they're able to influence the world around them without being aggressive, without being over the top, and without changing who they are at their core. So let's get into it. You see, most men spend their lives trying to change external factors. They think that if they get a better job, if they hit the gym harder, if they buy nicer clothes, they'll somehow unlock that confidence and magnetism they've been searching for. And don't get me wrong, those things are important, but they're not the secret. You can have the best job, the perfect body, and a wardrobe straight out of a fashion magazine, but still feel invisible. Still feel like you're missing something. The real secret, the knowledge that only 2% of men possess, has nothing to do with external factors. It has to do with mastering the internal dynamics that control how you show up in the world. The men who understand this know that it's not about trying harder. It's about understanding how to tap into a power that most people aren't even aware exists. Let me tell you a story. There was a guy I knew. Let's call him Chris. Chris was smart, hardworking, and in decent shape. He wasn't a social outcast by any means, but he always felt like he was on the periphery, like people didn't truly see him for who he was. He'd go to networking events, try to connect with people, and even though he had all the right qualifications and knew how to hold a conversation, it never really led anywhere. Meanwhile, there were other guys with fewer skills, less intelligence, who seemed to effortlessly glide through life. They didn't even have to try, and yet people were drawn to them, offering them opportunities, friendships, relationships. Chris was frustrated. He felt like he was doing everything right, but nothing was clicking. Does that sound familiar? Maybe you've been in Chris's shoes. You've done all the right things. You've tried to be more outgoing. You've worked on your confidence, and yet something still feels off. It's like you're running a race, but no matter how fast you go, the finish line keeps moving farther away. Now, here's where things get interesting. One day, Chris met a mentor. This mentor wasn't flashy or loud. He didn't have the stereotypical alpha presence that you'd expect, but when he spoke, people listened. When he walked into a room, the energy shifted. Chris asked him, "How do you do it? How do you get people to respond to you like that?" The mentor smiled and said, "It's not about what I do. It's about what I don't do." Most people go through life seeking approval. They're constantly trying to fit in, trying to impress, trying to be someone they think the world wants them to be. But the moment you stop seeking approval and start living authentically, everything changes. This was a revelation for Chris, and it's the first key to unlocking that rare knowledge. You see, the men who are part of that 2% don't chase approval. They don't try to mold themselves into what they think others want. Instead, they live in alignment with who they truly are. And that authenticity is magnetic. People are drawn to them because they're real. They're not playing a role. They're not pretending to be someone they're not. And that, my friend, is incredibly attractive. But it goes deeper than just being authentic. You also need to understand how to communicate on a subconscious level. This is the second key. Most men think communication is about the words they say. They focus on clever lines, witty remarks, or trying to say the right thing. But the truth is, 90% of communication happens beneath the surface. It's in your body language, your tone of voice, the way you carry yourself. The men who understand this are able to communicate volumes without saying a word. They exude confidence, not because of what they say, but because of how they are. And finally, the third key is mastering social dynamics. This is where most men fall short. They think being liked is about being nice, agreeable, or trying to be everyone's friend. But the men in that 2% know that real social mastery comes from understanding human psychology. It's about knowing when to lead and when to listen. It's about reading the room, picking up on subtle cues, and knowing how to influence the energy around you without forcing it. When you combine these three elements, authenticity, subconscious communication, and social dynamics, you unlock a level of influence and attraction that most men will never experience. You become the man who walks into a room and commands respect without saying a word. The man who others want to be around, not because you're trying to impress them, but because you're comfortable in your own skin. The man who doesn't seek approval because you already know your value. So, here's my question to you. Are you ready to step into that 2%? Are you ready to stop chasing approval and start living in a way that naturally attracts the people and opportunities you want into your life. Because the truth is, the only thing standing between you and that version of yourself is knowledge. And that knowledge is right here, waiting for you to claim it. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to start that transformation. But it's up to you to take action. The men who are part of that 2% didn't get there by accident. They made a choice, and now you have the chance to make that choice too. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal next will show you exactly how to unlock that rare knowledge. And once you do, your life will never be the same. I sincerely hope that this message has been useful to you. I want to congratulate you greatly for having come this far and for having finished the video. That means that you want to improve as a person. If you like the video, leave your comment. You don't know what to comment. Comment, "I dare," so I know you made it to the end. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Subscribe now and join us. Thank you for your attention. Until next time, warrior.